Tuesday, April 16th. This is a regular council meeting. Go ahead and call the meeting to order and ask Clementine to do roll call vote, and then also share with the public on how they can participate with public comment.
Councilmember Garcia,
Present.
Councilmember Hoffa,
Here.
and Mayor Williamson.
Here.
And we have Councilmember Barber and Councilmember Smith absent for today's meeting. And information on participating in today's meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is available on the agenda, which is online at isearchmonterey.org. Remote commenters, you will be muted until it is your turn to speak, and a timer will be shown on the screen. If you're connected on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. In the chamber, we ask attendees to keep phones and devices muted to prevent audio interference with the meeting. And thank you for participating in your city government.
And with that, we will go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Councilmember Hoffa to kick us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty. And with that, we will go to presentations. And number one on our list is recognizing Monterey High School basketball team as the 2024 CIF Division IV Boys Basketball State Champions. So we have a proclamation here for you all. I'm going to go ahead and read this. Proclamation recognizing the Monterey High School varsity boys basketball team as the 2024 CIF Division IV Basketball State Champions. Whereas on March 9th, 2024, the Monterey High School varsity boys basketball team won their first state championship and became the first public school in Monterey County to achieve a state title for boys basketball. And whereas within the win, the Monterey High varsity boys basketball team also became the third Monterey County high school program to capture a Northern California regional title. And whereas after losing the Central Coast section semifinal game, the varsity team was selected to be one of the 3 at-large teams participating in state championship playoffs. The team was seeded 14 out of 16 teams in the Division IV bracket. All of the games were road games, and despite the long hours of travel, the team emerged victorious at each one. These victories led the team to compete in the Northern California final state semifinal, where the team won and became the NorCal Division IV regional champions. This win allowed the team to move to the state finals. And whereas on March 9th, 2024, the team traveled to the Golden One Center in Sacramento and defeated the #1 seeded Chartsworth Charter School 74-66 to become the 2024 Division IV state champions. And whereas the team was led to victory by Coach Greg Daniels Jr. and his support staff, varsity assistant coach Michael Tocuno, Tom Reynolds, and John Ordonio, junior varsity coach Tim Dunn Jr., freshman coach Tim Dunn Sr., team videographer Greg Daniels III, team coordinator Janine Del Leon, and team statistician Camilla Gullickson. Coach Daniels Jr. is an alumni of Monterey High School and has been the head coach for the last 19 years. And now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Tyler Williamson, mayor of the city of Monterey, on behalf of the city council and citizens, hereby congratulate the Monterey High School varsity boys basketball team on the 2024 Division IV state championship. Why don't we give them a hand? Why don't you all come up for a photo? And I'd ask if the coach or maybe the team captain, if somebody wants to make a few remarks here. Why don't we come up for a photo first, and then we can do remarks afterwards. Who's the team captain? Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely. I might need you all to duck for the photo, even though we're elevated. I mean, hey, Jonathan, how are you? No, but for real though. This is a problem. You know what? Why don't we come down? Why don't we come down? Why don't we come in the center with you guys in the middle? And can you guys, how do you call it? You can have the shorter folks get in the front.
Ready, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna do one more, 1, 2, 3.
Do one with the city. Who's right here? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3.
Yay.
A plaque for them.
Oh, thank you.
Hang on, guys. But wait, there's more.
All righty.
We should take one more with this plaque here.
Should we come back down?
One more with the plaque. Come on. Please same spot and same smile.
Okay. 1, 2, and 3. One more.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Do you want to go to the, because we have people online, so it'd be good to go. Hey, I didn't want you to go too far into it.
It's all right. I just want to thank you guys for all the support, the city of Monterey, the school district. It's been wonderful, the support we've received. These kids, I think they deserve it. They worked really hard, resilient group, unselfish group. I don't know about all of that. A really good group. And, you know, we've had great support. We have the superintendent here with Marcy. We have our principal. They've been wonderful for us. You know, it takes a group effort, and I'm really happy that I have wonderful assistant coaches, Coach Mike, Coach John, Coach Reynolds. They've been with me a long time. It's a group effort. It's not a one-person job. And I always tell these guys in the game, when they make a mistake, it's never one guy's fault. It's always a group effort. And the same thing when we win. It's a group effort. So thank you, guys.
Hey, appreciate you, Coach. All right. Hey, appreciate you all. Congratulations.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice work, nice work. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. That's the right attitude. All right, Joe.
I'll see you next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
See you next year.
Yeah, right. I hope so. That's right.
You gotta win it next year again.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Just as some closing thoughts, and PK, did you want to share any comments? You're good. You're good. Just as some closing remarks for you all. As you all are probably aware, this is you all are left and represented the city of Monterey and in our entire community, our entire region. So I imagine that you all feel the weight of that and feel proud in the work that you've done. You're just as much as part of our community as anybody else. And so it just makes me so proud for us to be able to recognize you all today and make sure that you all keep doing great stuff. Just believe in yourself and trust in yourself that you guys can do anything. So I'm just really proud of you guys. Congratulations. All right. And with that, we will move on to, public comment for that item, for that presentation. Is there any public comment for that presentation item? So we have one in the chamber. Do you have any online? I'm going to do a countdown to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. None online. Okay, so we just have the one in the chamber on the Monterey High School basketball team.
Yes, I want to thank the council and Hans for allowing me to plant a milkweed garden with some of the community members. And we had.
Lorna, sorry, real quick. So this is just about the Monterey boys basketball team winning the champions.
Oh, I'm so
No
sorry.
worries, no worries. I apologize for the confusion. All right, so we'll go ahead and close public comment on that.
Like the introduction.
We're waiting in anticipation to hear the rest of it now. So we have one more presentation that we'll do public comments on, and then we'll go to general public comments. So the next presentation is on economic impact and investment summary from C Monterey. So I'll pass it to Hans for introductions.
Yes, C Monterey was known as MCCBB, and I've seen many of us try to remember that. And then Rob O'Keefe came up with the idea to rebrand it with a whole board of directors and a bunch of other folks that helped to come up with the original name C Monterey. And so Rob wanted to provide us with some data points about his work and specifically also about what Monterey has gained also through the past year and the accomplishments of the C Monterey efforts.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Mayor, council members. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're going to keep it fairly brief. And I just want to start by saying that Monterey, the brand, is all about inspiration. And based on the previous presentation, I came here inspired. So. Also, to keep the festivities going, the championship basketball team, we also have some championship news, and we're bringing up right now our, they're called Poppy Awards after the California State Flower, and we won 2 of them in a recent Visit California annual. It's actually every 2 years they do this, and Visit California is the CVB for the state, and so all the CVBs around the state come to their annual meeting, and every 2 years they do the Poppy Awards. And so it's really hard to get, and we got 2 of them this year. No one else got more than 1. So for us, this is like an Academy Award, and getting 2 in one night, it kind of made us like Oppenheimer. We were the Oppenheimer that evening. And I'm most excited because the categories that we got them in. One was in group meetings marketing, which we're going to talk more about, and also best crisis recovery campaign. So if you remember last year's crisis, we've got one coming at all times. And if you have questions about Big Sur, I can answer those, but we didn't include that here. Last year, when we had the storms that we went through, from basically it started raining after Thanksgiving and didn't stop until March, we put together a program both for evacuees, for people in need, and then how do we recover from that campaign to accelerate recovery. And really, these awards, I truly mean this, there's not our awards, they're your awards, they're the community awards, because none of this would be possible without everybody who participates in the program. And I will, again, being brief, you've seen this before, and I'm sure you've read it cover to cover. This is the second page of the Economic Investment Impact Report that we send to you 4 times a year. This is the mid-year report. Teresa is going to have some updated numbers. I wanted to point this out because in summary, for the investment that the city of Monterey makes every year, this is just at the mid-year point, the mid-year investment level, this demonstrates your ROI. This is specific to the city of Monterey. We do similar reports twice a year for other destinations. And if you look at the numbers, I think they're pretty telling. Your dollars are invested into a pool that is now over $11 million. That allows us to do major campaigns. It allows us to go after group and conference business that like we could never do in the past. Allows us to bring business here to the destination. When people come to our websites, we had first half of the year, 852,000 people come to our website. We sent 69,000 of those people to businesses just here in the city of Monterey. It's an opportunity to drive business. You've received over $300,000 in specific to City of Monterey public relations coverage. And the bigger number, which we're very proud of, and we're going to go into more detail on, is over $33 million in booked group business for the City of Monterey. That is the Monterey Conference Center, and also includes single hotel property bookings that we generate the leads, we help them convert, and the book business, this is book business, That's the number that's represented there. So just a little bit more on that. I mentioned the Academy Awards. If you're watching the Oscars this year, you might have seen our television commercial. Our new Find Your Way here just launched this campaign. We need to, as a destination, collectively, all of us, we need to show up bigger than we are if we want to become bigger than we are. We have to show up in unexpected ways, in the unexpected places. And I've got calls, and we only ran this spot in 6 markets, but they're the 6 most important markets, including the direct flight markets. I got many, many calls from people saying, what are you doing there? That's what we want. We want to show up where they don't expect us in bigger ways. We want to show up in places like the New York Times, and we want to show up differently in the New York Times. So here's little Monterey with a featured story in the Frugal Traveler in New York Times, focusing on what do you not expect, how to do Monterey County, but most importantly centered in the city of Monterey on a budget. So the Frugal Traveler we brought out, and you can see there the various destinations in the city of Monterey that were covered. We're not just for wealthy people. Tourism is about equity. Tourism is important to let people know we have an offering for them, from the smaller economy hotels to, of course, the larger luxury hotels, showing up places where people don't expect and in ways that they don't expect us. The campaign that just got this Poppy Award, it's called All In. The reason I say it's all of our awards because it takes all of us to participate in this. One of the reasons that we won is because we got the community behind the campaign to do a unified welcome for people to come here. We're working on our next award, by the way, over at the conference center, the Phillips Pet Food Conference. We're working with the producers of that conference to get in there and actually shoot video that we're going to use in our next group campaign. So we're really excited about that. But to get into some more detail on what we're doing there, because this is your big gun. Groups, conferences is what really drives revenue for this city. I want to let my experts speak about that.
Great. Thank you, Rob. Moving on. So I'm going to talk some numbers now. Rob mentioned the mid-year, but this is updated numbers from July through March. And our leads, where we're at this year, this is a snapshot, 3 different time periods. Tanya and I were talking before this meeting, and she told me what you guys always ask for: how we doing at the conference center, how do we look pre-COVID. So this is the same time period year over year and pre-COVID, July through March. This year we're at 413 leads. So those are group inquiries. Those are meeting planners calling, or our team reaching out to dig into those leads. This year we're at 413. Pre-COVID we were at 502. You might think that that's bad news because we have less leads, but it's actually quality over quantity right now. As you look to the right, the booked leads, this year we have 130, pre-COVID 110, and last year 122. So we're up in the booked leads, so that's the quality. And on the next slide here, we're going to talk the economic impact.
Real quick question on the
yes.
last year and the pre-COVID numbers, are those year to date as well?
It's fiscal year to date, so it's July through March.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this correct.
But for
And
last year's
pre-COVID.
data, when we're comparing the data, are we looking at the
Same time
same
period.
time period? Okay, thank you.
Fiscal 19. So July of 18 through March of 19.
Okay,
So
thank you.
before COVID affected anything. And then on the next slide here, we're talking booked room nights. We're up nearly 8,000 over last year and 1,000 over pre-COVID levels. And then the economic impact. I know there was a document that we had sent in before this meeting, and it represented a 51 million. That was pulled from wrong time frame. This is the July through March timeframe, and we're at 37 million. When I told Nat, he's like, well, it's still a big number, so I don't think they'll mind.
Fair.
And so last year we're at 33, and then pre-COVID levels 26. This is highly impacted one for group rates. They've gone up 30%, give or take, for our market. So that's the EIC it includes the ancillary spends, the room rate, the food and beverage, AV, all different offsite restaurants, that kind of thing. That's what the EIC represents, the economic impact for those bookings. And the next slide, another way we use your investment dollars is by incentivizing groups to come during need time periods, midweeks. We give them a $20 per room night payout at the end of the conference. And we've so far committed 130,000 to secure 4.5 million in economic impact. So that's every dollar that we've used with that incentive is $35 in ROI. Any questions there? Next, I'm going to have Michelle come up. And one thing I wanted to note for those, I know a lot of you know Michelle, but she joined the C Monterey team in October. And since she started, she's helped the team pull through over 11,000 room nights of those 40 that we showed earlier. So just want to give Michelle a big kudos and so glad you're on the team.
Thank you. So one of the programs that we're working on in order to help secure the group business is the Flash Your Badge program. Like Teresa said, most of you know me as the event person, right? So, but now that I'm on the sales side, one of the things that I notice right off is that I'm muted or
It's good.
okay.
Ignore.
I mean, it happens to me all the time, especially at home. So one of the things I noticed is that the first thing that a client asked me is, what can you give me for free, or what kind of discounts can you give me? And the reason for that is because the markets that we're competing against, in many cases like Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose to some degree, they're suffering a little bit, a lot of which is because they're perceived safety and security in those markets, right? Which we don't have. Thank you so much, Chief. So one of the things that we use, they're giving away everything for free, and we can't do that. So the Flash Your Badge program is twofold. It gives our conference attendees discounts within local businesses, and we're partnering with OMBA, Cannery Row, and the Wharf Association. So it helps give discounts to our clients so we can offer that to help entice group business, and it also helps drive those groups into our local businesses. So far, a really good program, and there should be a press release coming out about that anytime now.
Very cool.
So we'll wrap up here. I will say this about the Flash Your Badge. It's getting business here and sharing the love, sharing the dollars and getting people out. And I go to East Village a lot. And Ryan over there I was working with him one day, like, what kind of a discount should I put on this so I can lure people over and get that business? And we worked it out. So let me just finish with some good news, bad news, and we'll start with the bad news. We are, as a destination, working our way up. Our combined budget through jurisdiction investment through the MCTID has raised us up from $640 per room per year. This is a representation of the amount of dollars a destination has. We have 12,000 rooms. Take your budget into that, and that's how much money you have per room to market the destination on an annual basis. Last year, we were at $640 because the TID was redone and the hotel community stepped up. We're up to $1,050. We're gaining ground. You can see there, though, a collection of our competitors. We compete with the smalls like Napa and Sonoma. I call them Sonapa because together they don't have as many rooms as we do, and they both have considerably large budgets. But we also compete against Palm Springs, San Diego, San Jose. They're going after the business. They're going after Phillips pet food business. They wanted that business. Sure, it might be 300-400 people. They want that. That's a sweet spot for them. And we've got to compete with the smaller guys and the bigger guys. And we're doing, I think, a pretty darn good job if the hardware around me is representing that. Now for the good news. We have to continue to show up bigger than we are, to become bigger than we are. What and how can we embrace every opportunity? The new campaign that I mentioned earlier, it's going to launch at IMAX in Las Vegas, which is the biggest, largest. I just double check. And we're going to launch in a really big way. We've been working with you for years on to help sell and market the conference center. We're going to take that to the next level. And I talked to Hans about this recently. We want to brand that experience. We want to create, you see bricks and mortar, I see an experience. I see an innovation incubator. How can we put that inside and out of the conference center? Put the brand on the walls. So when the team walks through and they're coming in onto their shift or not, we're back of house. Let's put some branding up there. Let's get them excited. Let's inspire the staff because they're part of something really important when people come here. And all the hotels do it. We could step up what we're doing. And we've talked to Tanya about doing that. We're going to continue to show up in bigger ways than we have in the past. Cal SAE Elevate, about 500 people will be here at the conference center next year. That's a lot of folks that we want to bring here to do business with. The best way to get someone to want to come here and bring their own conference is to get them here for a conference that we're hosting. And there's a number of other things that we're doing in the coming year. International, we really got to go hard at that next year. That's a major point for us. And we're working on a budget and business plan for next year. We got to hit that hard if we want those visitors back. Conference visitor spends 158% of what a leisure visitor spends. An international visitor spends about 2 or 3 times what a conference center spends. Conference attendee. Thank you. Where were we on that one? So that's what we have for you. It's very, very truncated in the interest of time, but we're happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council? Councilman Rafa?
Yeah, so coming out of COVID, I was concerned that we've got an investment in this, amazing conference center, but will people want to continue to go to conferences? Will conferences become more digital and less in person? It looks like the data you're showing suggests that isn't happening, but I just wonder if you could speak to that kind of in terms of where do you see things long term with conferences and group events and that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Great, excellent question. So you're absolutely right that a lot of things moved online, right? So content can be delivered digitally. And what we also had the same concern that, people were going to go online and do their recertification or whatever, which they can do. However, what we found is that the primary reason that people want to attend a conference is not for content, but it's they want to meet their colleagues. They want to socialize, they want to network, they want to create personal connections. And fortunately, our building, the destination is perfectly suited to that. There's plenty of things that you can do. You're not trapped in a building where you can't go out and have a drink on the wharf or whatever it is that you want to do. We find that that actually we're very well suited to help people connect and meet and be all in.
Thanks.
I would just like to highlight the point that you were just making. I mean, even if somebody were to stay in the conference room, when you talk about that socialization factor, I mean, there's a lot of places outside of the conference spaces where you can sit, socialize. You can go outside, you can go on the deck area. There's a little courtyard in between there and the hotel. So it really speaks to, I think, that idea of being able to socialize and network. Councilor Garcia?
Thanks. I have just one question. It might be a little bit of a tangent, but it kind of caught my attention as I was reviewing the business plan. There was a mention of filming locations. What role does C Monterey play in that?
So when it comes to selecting those or permitting,
Whatever that is, I saw it in the plan, so I was curious as to how it relates.
yeah, we partner with the Film Commission and they help get locations and what else?
And we work with the production companies to find scouting locations. We work with the Film Commission in tandem. Their primary role is that it's our sideline where we work partnership with them to help find hotels for the filming crew, those kinds of things.
Yeah, and we do a shot or a selection list. So this video I'm referring to, we're at the conference center. We've been there. We're at the Hyatt right now. The team is literally filming footage at the Hyatt. They were at Casa Munris and a couple other locations and really centering on City of Monterey. We're doing some things out of the City of Monterey, but most of it's centered here because that's the business that comes here. And so we pick those and then we work with sometimes Film Commission. The producers help us with that. And it's always about spreading the love. If we shot the wharf, in the last video, we're going to shoot Canyon Row in the next video. And we want to move that around a lot because obviously it's fair to do that. Plus we have such a diversity of wonderful product and you can't cover it all in any one video.
Do you see that being a segment that has potential for growth?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to shooting, I remember when Big Little Lies was here, that was a pretty extensive and big shoot and there's a lot of permitting. And they're looking at season 3, so they might be back.
First, folks.
Yeah, let's hope. But sometimes at the county level, permitting can be difficult or expensive or both. And sometimes that creates some challenges for us, but more so for others. There's a great desire to relook at that, just like COVID made everybody change their mind at least a little bit or open it. And I think there's more potential for that. And that brings in a lot of revenue and it creates a lot of jobs.
And I would imagine a lot of folks staying in town during the shoots.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Where can folks access the video, the commercial that you all did? Because I'm sure people are interested in wanting to check it out for themselves.
It's super easy. Just Google C Monterey and YouTube, and it'll take you right
There
to
you
our
go.
C Monterey YouTube channel.
It's easy enough.
Lots of great content there.
And
Thank
then
you.
my other question is, you had the slide up where you compared our the investment per room. And I would suggest that we're moving in the right direction, one, but two, it's still a good investment. Not to say that there's not more work to do there, but I just kind of wanted to make a comment there that it's a pretty sizable investment, and I appreciate your leadership and your team's work on helping to push us in the right direction. We've been working a lot together over the last few years, and it's, I think, a lot to do to your leadership. So I appreciate your efforts there.
Thank you, Mayor.
Absolutely. Okay, with that, we will open it up for public comment. So if you all want to stand by with your beautiful awards that you received. And that's public comment specifically on the C Monterey presentation. So we have one in the chamber. Anybody else in the chamber? You can come on up. Anybody else in the chamber wish to speak on this item? Okay, we're going to double check online real quick to see if we have any folks online. I'm going to do a countdown for folks to use the raise hand function to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have none online. So ma'am, to you.
Good afternoon. My name's Beena Patel, and I am a small business operator of 2 small hotels in Monterey. One is on Fremont Street and one is on Monroe Avenue. And as a small hotel, we really value the incredible partnership that the city has with C Monterey. As small hotels, we don't have enough bandwidth or the marketing budgets to promote our hotels. So we rely a lot on C Monterey. We rely on the collaboration with the city to ensure that our hotels are marketed in the right places, because we can't do it. What we can do is, once the guests come here, whether it's for convention, we can get the overflow, we can service it. We're small economic, mid-scale hotels, and the bigger hotels have bigger budgets. We don't. So we rely on this partnership. The collaborations with the city of Monterey and with C Monterey really ensures, our economic vitality. We are hands-on operators at the hotel level, and we don't have the expertise that you guys have or C Monterey has. So it is really, really important for small businesses to ensure that this partnership continues, and especially if we're competing with other markets and, trying to steal businesses away from San Diego or San Jose or Napa. We can't do it. We rely on you guys. And as chair-elect for C Monterey for upcoming years, I want to ensure that we continue to build on this relationship, and to really look at representing the smaller businesses, not just the hotels, everyone, small businesses, service businesses, whether it be restaurants or whether it be a small retail shop, because we're all in this together. We need to bring people into Monterey, which we can do. We rely on you to bring them, and then we'll take care of them, and we'll make sure that they come up again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your efforts, and congratulations on your chairmanship elect.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to comment on this item.
Okay, unfortunately, we can't because
I raised my hand, but you didn't see me.
okay,
You can,
I apologize.
did.
I apologize. I didn't see you, but if you have comments that you want to add, I'm going to open it up
It's
here.
on this item that you.
I know, but unfortunately I didn't see you, Lorna. I apologize. I didn't see your hand go up and so
Did you
out
see
of
my name?
out of respect for everybody, I just want to make sure. I apologize for missing you, but I didn't see it. With that, if you want to stay, because I'm going to go to general public comment at this time. Thanks again to the C Monterey team for all the work that you all do.
Okay, well, wanted to thank all.
Sorry, hold, give me 1 second. So I just want to,
Is this mic on?
it
Yeah,
is on.
Okay.
I just want to capture everybody that wants to speak for general public comment. So is there anybody else in the chamber that wishes to speak on general public comment? So I see one in the back, one in the front, one sitting at the podium. Anybody else? Okay, so we have 3 in the chamber. And then I'm going to check online for folks to use the raise hand function and do a countdown to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have 3 online.
Yes, I wanted to thank
Sorry, hold on 1 second. I'm
sorry.
sorry. We've allocated 15 minutes. It's fine, actually, the math. Okay, please go ahead.
I wanted to thank Hans and the city council for allowing us to plant a milkweed garden for the monarchs. And today, when I was weeding it, I found 7 baby monarch caterpillars. So this is incredible. And I had to go against the Xerces Society, who was insistent that if you planted milkweed here in Monterey County, the monarchs would never leave. They'd never migrate. And I knew that was wrong. So I started investigating. I went to the Department of Agriculture and I dug into records. And I found out that milkweed grew here in this county very prevalently until Monsanto started calling it a weed and spraying it into extinction. And along with that went the monarchs. And of course, the eucalyptus are now being cut down. And as we cut down the eucalyptus, the monarchs are also disappearing. So I would like to encourage the city council to ask Louis to start planting milkweed. And here is a letter from one of the world's expert, Dr. James David from Washington State University. I do not believe the presence of milkweed has any impact on the behavior or physiology of overwintering monarchs. I studied monarchs in Australia, where all overwintering monarchs are located in colonies that have milkweed present at the site. This does not prevent or interfere with migration and overwintering. I want to repeat, this does not prevent or interfere with migration or overwintering. And I'm attaching some papers to prove that. So I do not discourage the planting of milkweed near overwintering sites. So hopefully this will help you to make the right decisions, and let's welcome milkweed into our county. And the second thing about the marketing, I would like to say we need to bring back the train, and Biden has money for counties to bring back the train to Monterey. And that would greatly induce tourism because the MST bus line is not comfortable, it's noisy, and it takes too long a time. So people coming from San Francisco could take the train all the way down here. So let's please, City Council, make some grant attempts because TAMC refuses to do so. Thank you so much.
Hi, Steve Lightfoot, man with the yellow van about John Lennon's murder, LennonMurderTruth.com. That's my public commentary on the support I get here, as well as this. Now, when I say jealous U.S. obstructing messenger, I mean, of the hundreds of magazines I've sold since I've been here, not one has been purchased by Monterey. They're definitely trying to stop me. The people here, not just the city council and police, the people here are standing up against me. Similarly, in 1990, Paul McCartney endorsed me at the Berkeley concert. I have it on tape. Yes, Steve. That's right. I don't know what you think, Berkeley, but I want you to know that we like it. And we need you as the people to get to the promised land. He said that in the middle of a song. Nobody knew what he was talking about. I saw his wife, Linda, looking very dismayed at his feckless effort. And McCartney, for his jealous, feckless attempt to help me, was punished with the death of his wife and the divorce of his one-legged wife subsequent, and his paltry showing in the arts industry ever since. What I have found, by the way, I will never speak to McCartney when I'm famous. I will never speak to McCartney when I'm famous. He did us all a great disservice, wasting his celebrity, turning it into thin air. That's the kind of grudge I will hold. I found the headline, "Who's in, Who's Out," in Time magazine the day of the murder, right above just elected Reagan. And I thought, what is this? Reagan's in, Lennon's out? Then I saw the book next to him by Richard Nixon. I read that book and it talks about killing John Lennon. Same pictures in Newsweek the day of the murder. I eventually found that up to 75% of the headlines in Time and Newsweek surrounding the murder read like government codes all about John Lennon's murder. I found Mark David Chapman's name and letter to the editor printed before the murder, how Reagan's moving him into a hostile square with a gun. I found the killer's face, Stephen King, not Mark Chapman, getting John Lennon's autograph. Nobody cares about these kinds of things. And for that, when I was interviewed in Santa Cruz, a caller said, well, so what? So what if Stephen King did it? It doesn't matter now. And I says, if that's the way everybody feels, I hope an asteroid wipes you out and puts you out of your misery. And I'm serious about that. I haven't had sex since 1995. I'm so disillusioned and so turned off by the human race. It's disgusting. You might as well have a dead head of somebody in your refrigerator that's been there for the last 7 years. You have such taste. Imagine walking into a house and smelling that dead someone's head in your refrigerator for 7 years. That's how you're living, letting this stuff slide by the wayside. I demonstrate every Sunday downtown Monterey, noon, everybody, your chance.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Shea Ballesteri. I'm the GEM chairman for the employees, City of Monterey. A little update on our negotiation. We tried to begin negotiation really early this year in January. We wanted to get ahead of it. We didn't want to run into any problems. And at that time, the city management wasn't ready to negotiate with us. So we finally got our first meeting, I believe on February 22nd. On February 22nd, we were ready to go. We gave our proposal. And so with that, I wanted to read just a little section of the meeting, the negotiation law for negotiating in good faith. It means that a public agency or such representatives as it may designate and representatives of recognized employee organizations shall have the mutual obligation personally to meet and confer promptly upon request by either party and continue for a reasonable period of time in order to exchange freely information, opinions, and proposals, and to endeavor to reach agreement on matters within the scope of representation prior to the adoption by the public agency of its final budget for the ensuing year. Now, I know I can't say certain things about our negotiation, but we gave our proposal February 22nd. It is now 2 months, I think, roughly into our negotiation. We have yet to get a response from management, and we have yet to really receive their proposal. So we really haven't gotten anywhere. I know our contract expires in July 1st, and it was our desire to start early, get it done, and we seem to be on the same track that we've always been on, which is way, way behind. I'm not sure how to remedy this issue. I figured I'd bring it to your attention if you did not know. And that's all I have for right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Shea. All right, we'll take it online.
Yes, first I'm calling on a telephone caller with the last 3 digits of 204. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. 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 We have two different callers with these last three digits, so I'm going to try the other one in case that one works better.
Stephen King.
Okay, we'll drop them. They don't know how to use Zoom.
Okay, I'm going to switch to a different telephone caller with the last three digits of 837.
I'm unmuting 204. We'll take 837 and we will remove permission to talk for 204. They're having some audio issues on their end. Let's see if 204 works. I'm sorry, 837.
Sorry for these technical difficulties. 837, could you go ahead, please, if you could speak?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Brian Rosen, and we need the help of the Monterey City Council right now. You know, the traffic coming into Monterey and roads leading from Santa Cruz, from the Bay Area, is so congested. It hurts tourism for that matter. And for years and years, for 5 years or so, they've been saying the surf bus would leave all the railroad tracks alone. It's right in the negative, the initial environmental assessment done by MST, which is incorrect because Mr. Sederick, the CEO, now has revealed that almost a mile of tracks are going to be removed. And they keep reiterating the tracks are old and would need to be removed anyway. And they keep saying that both uses can coexist. But the point is, we know the tracks probably need to be replaced. But if we have to realign the train, that could make it very costly and inexpensive to do so. And it could be environmentally damaging. What are we going to do? Put it up on the sand dunes? You know, it's a real serious problem to have to realign. The corridor was purchased for rail. I mean, the TAMC went to the CTC. It was about intercity rail in the day, and to preclude the best route for the train to do a surf route is going to make the train second fiddle, and it's not right. And the surf route, if it's going to go on that corridor, it needs to go around the train. And the surf route is only going to speed up 5 miles out of a 20-mile route. It's still going to be a lot more convenient to drive your car. So you have a TAMC representative and an MST representative, Mr. Ed Smith, and we need Mr. Ed Smith to get the particulars. I can't get answers. MST tells me that they don't have to legally give me do only what's legal, and they send me long things. I can't find anything. We need to find out where the train alignment's going to be and how much it's going to cost. And we really shouldn't allow the best train alignment to be lost and raise the cost significantly. The rail is the way to go. We need to work hard for it. We need to have a can-do attitude. Once the rail is in there, what's the point of throwing away $91 million on the surf bus? A lot of trees, a lot of beautiful trees would be destroyed. It'd be kind of a waste of money. We need to do the rail, and Santa Cruz wants to do a rail to Watsonville, and I think it's time that Monterey really take the helm and bring the rail into Monterey, get cars off the roads, make a difference, and also do some rapid transit bus by having the electric bike things all over town like they do in Santa Barbara, where you can take a one-way trip, put your credit card or whatever, and do that. That could hook up with the buses. We could have electric bike rapid transit between Marina and Monterey without any construction or devastation of the environment. But please direct your representative to make sure that we know exactly what's going to happen if the rail alignment has to be moved, how much it's going to cost.
All right, thank you. Your time has passed. And I will try one more time for this telephone caller with the last three digits, 204. I think that the problem is that you are connected to our meeting twice. If there's any possibility you could remove one of your two connections, it may make this more successful, but let's see if we can make it work. You'll need to unmute. I'm sorry. I don't think that one's going to work, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, whoever that is, I maybe recommend maybe reaching out to staff and trying to work with them on troubleshooting for future. And if you have public comments that you want to share, you can provide those in writing and we can make sure those get added to the record. All right, and with that, we will bring it back to the council. We will move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody on the council wish to pull anything? All right, none here. With that, we'll take it out for public comment on any of the consent items. This is also a time for the public to share if they wish to pull an item on the consent agenda. Is there anybody in the chamber? Anybody in the chamber wish to speak on public comment for any of the consent items? Okay, let's go online. Please use the raise hand function and I'll do a countdown to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we have none online. We'll bring it back to the council for a motion and deliberation.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to item number 10, which is our only public appearance item today. It's to receive an annual report and renew military equipment purchase in use ordinance and authorize acquisition of additional military equipment, including a crisis negotiating team command vehicle, 2 pepper ball launchers, 1 Desert Tech SRS M2 precision rifle, and replace 13 patrol rifles. And with that, I'll pass it to Hans for staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. AB 481 was passed in 2021, and I believe this is the second time that we are in compliance with that law, presenting to you the military equipment that is being inventoried by our Monterey Police Department. And with that, I hand it over to Chief Bruno.
Thank you, Hans. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My name is Mike Bruno. I'm the Assistant Chief with the Monterey Police Department. So we'll get started here. So a little bit of background for AB 41. It's the Military Equipment Funding Acquisition and Use. This was passed on September 30th, 2021. It was signed by Governor Newsom. It was codified in Government Code 7070 through 7072. It was created to increase transparency, accountability, and oversight for acquisition and use of military equipment. It's to provide the safeguards to protect public's welfare, safety, civil rights, and liberties. So the Monterey Police Department has a military use equipment policy. This can be found in Monterey Police Department Policy 706. This was approved by the Monterey City Council in April of 2022 by way of ordinance, and it was renewed last year in April of 2023 by the City Council. This policy is also publicly available on the Monterey Police Department's website, which is montereypolice.org. And it's, the requirements of AB 41 requires that the police department compose an annual military equipment report, and that the City Council shall annually review that military equipment purchase and use ordinance and vote to renew the ordinance at a regular meeting. Policy also requires that we have a public meeting, which is this meeting, as well as we held a town hall meeting on Monday, March 25th. It was at 6 p.m. and it was here at the City Council chambers, and it was also available via Zoom. During that meeting, we had 4 attendees in person, as well as 16 online viewers via Zoom. 8 online viewers spoke during that meeting, and at least 7 were Zoom bombing. Zoom bombing is when somebody calls in and they use racial and other harsh language that have really nothing to do with the meeting. I say at least 7 because one of them was against the military equipment, but had made some comments about religion as well as some anti-police stuff. So I don't know if it was somebody passionate against the military use equipment or if they were Zoom bombing. So that's why that's 7 out of 8. And then we had 4 attendees in person that were supportive of our equipment and our requests. All right, for the annual reporting, so these are the requirements, is that we must provide a summary of how the equipment was used and the purpose of its use, a summary of any complaints or concerns regarding that equipment, the results of internal audits, violations of use policy, and actions taken in response to those, the total annual cost of each equipment, the quantity possessed for each equipment, and our intention to acquire more. So currently, this is what the Monterey Police Department has that's been identified as military equipment. 53 patrol rifles. These rifles are issued to each sworn member of the police department. We have 2 shotguns that are utilized as less lethal platforms, 3 shotguns that are utilized as a breaching shotgun, 14 40-millimeter less lethal launchers. These are assigned to our patrol vehicles, 2 37-millimeter OC launchers, 3 specialized rifles or counter sniper rifles that are used with our special response unit, which is what would be a SWAT team. And then we have 4 unmanned aircraft systems or aerial drones. I'd also like to note that the Monterey Police Department does not participate in the 1033 program. That's the federal military surplus equipment. So none of our equipment comes from the military. So the Monterey Peninsula has a regional special response unit. That's a SWAT team. It's comprised of multiple agencies on the Monterey Peninsula. And in order for their equipment to be used in Monterey, we have to identify those, and that's what this is. So they have a Lenco Bearcat armored vehicle. They have command and control vehicles. They have remotely piloted air and ground vehicles or drones. They have 37 and 40-millimeter launchers, a breaching shotgun, flashbang diversionary devices, explosive breaching tools, tear gas, and pepper balls. So as far as our annual report summary, all of our military equipment, we did an audit, all of it was accounted for, and there were no violations of the military equipment use policy. All of the funding for the military equipment came from our existing Monterey Police Department budget, and the Monterey Police Department did not receive any formal complaints regarding its military equipment. We had one use of our military equipment or of the equipment identified as military equipment this past year. That occurred in November of 2023. We had a neighbor in one of our neighborhoods brandish an assault rifle at another neighbor. And so we wrote an arrest and a search warrant, and this warrant was served by our SWAT team, the Peninsula Special Response Unit. And during that incident, they used an unmanned robot, a rescue vehicle, and a workhorse commercial van. So in order for the Monterey Police Department to acquire more military equipment we need the approval from the council. And so we are seeking to purchase 13 semi-automatic patrol rifles. This is to replace 13 patrol rifles that we have that are over 24 years old. One crisis negotiating team command vehicle. This will be purchased through a UASI grant. UASI is the Urban Area Security Initiative. It's a federal grant. This will be purchased in the fiscal budget of 25, and it's fully reimbursed. This was approved by the council in 2022 and 2023. The reason why is because we had to get approval from the council to seek the grant. Then we applied for the grant, and then now we're seeking to purchase that vehicle this year. So that's why it's been going on for the last few years. We'd like to replace the LaRue OBR AR-10 precision rifle with our Desert Tech precision rifle. This rifle is used by the SWAT team, by one of the counter snipers. It currently is in need of some costly repairs, which will be about the cost of what the rifle is valued at. We already have a Desert Tech, and so to have both operators be able to use the same type of platform is beneficial. And so rather than replace the costly repairs, we would seeking to purchase the Desert Tech. And then 2 Pepperball VKS Pro launchers. So the Pepperball Pro launchers, similar to what a paintball gun, where it shoots a projectile or like a paintball that has a chemical irritant. It provides the officers the ability to use that type of a platform from a larger distance than the 40-millimeter less lethal ones that we have now. It's also a chemical irritant, and so it's contemporary with using tactics to safely take somebody into custody without having to use lethal force. So with that, the staff recommendation is that the City Council find that the military equipment identified in the Monterey Police Department's annual military equipment report has complied with the standards for approval set forth in the military equipment's use policy. That's MPD Policy 706, military equipment, and the military equipment inventory, and renew the military equipment purchase and use ordinance, Monterey City Code, Chapter 27, Article 3, Section 27-10, and also to authorize the purchase of additional military equipment, including a crisis negotiating team command vehicle, replacing 13 patrol rifles, 2 Pepperball launchers, and 1 Desert Tech SRS M2 precision rifle. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great presentation. Any questions from the council? Seeing none, we'll open it up for public comment. Anybody in the chamber wish to speak on this item? All right, we have nobody in the chamber. Let's check online. I'll do a countdown for folks to use the raise hand function to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have one person online, so we'll go ahead and go to that individual.
Yes, this is a telephone caller with the last 3 digits, 837.
Is it the same one? Okay.
So you'll need to dial *6. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Brian Rosen here. I want to speak out against further militarizing the local police of Monterey. You know, I think the government is way too powerful, and I think the police are too powerful. And I think that's a real serious danger in a democratic society. The founding fathers knew that the government was the biggest threat. When they get too powerful, power corrupts. And I would just say, no, we don't need the military equipment. We don't. We can live without it. We need to, instead of talking about this kind of thing, we need to start talking about how to make peace in this crazy world with all the wars and all the horrible things that the military is doing all over the world. You know, if you go to Martin Luther King's speech, The Three Evils of Society, he said that billions of dollars are that's on YouTube, are spent on mass murder. And the same is true today with what our government is doing all over the world. It's not a good situation. In his speech Beyond Vietnam, he said that the United States is the biggest aggressive, most destructive force in the world. You can listen to it for yourself. Do we want to be associated with the military-industrial complexes Dwight Eisenhower and Martin Luther King spoke about? Let's settle down and start working. It doesn't give the community a good feeling with the police walking around with assault weapons. We need people to trust the officers and the police and to truly be friends with the community. And trigger-happy police have existed and need to be held accountable like anybody else, but oftentimes they're exempt. So I really think it's a big mistake, and I know many people don't want to see the city militarized more. The police are powerful enough. They already have plenty of assault weapons. You know, when John F. Kennedy was killed, Malcolm X said the chickens have come home to roost because of what we were doing in Vietnam. And there's a connection between what this country is doing overseas and what's happening in our schools with the school shootings and so forth and the violence in our own society. We may export violence all over the world, but let's not try to increase it at home. Let's try to look more deeply at what the military-industrial complex is doing. I'd like to recommend that you play these 2 speeches of Martin Luther King. I know they're not very friendly toward the military-industrial complex, but I think it might be good to take a different viewpoint and try to restrict the police and the government becoming too powerful for once. It's kind of a scary thing when the government can go amok. They have too much power. So that's my comment. Please don't further militarize the police. They're plenty powerful as it is. And let's get the trust of the citizens. The citizens don't want to see the police with all this heavy-duty military equipment. It's so destructive. It kills so many people all over the world. Let's not be associated with it, please.
All right, thank you. And those 3 minutes were up, and there are no further speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Clementine. And thank you for the public comment. I'll just jump in here and share that, you know, the conversation's all within balance. And I know that a lot of it is semantics in regards to the use of militarized equipment. A lot of this is replacement equipment. And in fact, for us to have peace, we need to make sure that we have a police force that can protect and maintain the peace within our community. So not to say that we don't need to have a continual conversation around what does peace look like and making sure that we do that in a balanced way. But I just wanted to be able to jump in and I don't think that this is an overreach. We just need to make sure that the professional police force that we have here in the city of Monterey has the equipment that they need to be able to do their job effectively. So with that, I'll entertain a motion or if there's further deliberation.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, and with that, we'll go to council comments. No comments from me either. Move that to city manager reports. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I do have one because I went on travel. which I don't want to steal your thunder here, Hans. So I'll probably mostly save it for you because I'm sure you'll have some thoughts about the ADC. But Hans and I and Mark in the city manager's office went to the Association of Defense Communities Conference in DC last week. It was very informative, provided a lot of opportunities for us to network and connect with other stakeholders from throughout the country. And I think the main message going into the discussion, but also very much part of the discussion on the ground while we were there, was just recognizing the DoD's efforts in creating resilient bases and infrastructure on their bases. But our message was, and part of the conference was in order to make sure that we're making sure that we're providing a space for the warfighter to be ready to go in a time of crisis. Let's say the power goes out. Let's say that our wastewater or drinking water supply is somehow disrupted from an adversary, an international adversary, that we can not only be resilient on the installations, but that we can also have resilient communities in which a lot of these military personnel reside in. And so we're talking about their families and making sure that, you know, they can go to work and know that their loved ones are going to be taken care of. Their spouse can continue to take care of their family. The children can still go to school, that they can have a warm meal at home. How do we navigate that experience when there is a potential attack? And so that was very much where the conversation focused on. And there was another element too around, childcare services. I know that we've been providing childcare here at the Defense Language Institute, and there's some conversation that needs to continue in regards to what the future that looks like. But obviously, childcare issues are a really challenging thing. And so, what are we doing to collaborate with our military installations, with our military partners, to ensure that we can help provide that resiliency and whether we're in a wartime or not. And I think that is, say again? Oh, yes, we also met with Jimmy. Do we have a picture of that? That's a good picture. No, is it not? No, we can't get it up. Yeah, we while we were there, we also had the opportunity to meet with our Congressman Jimmy Panetta and express to him the need for us to continue that collaboration. I'll also use the opportunity to just share one of the talking points in conversations that's happening is particularly with MPS is as it relates to the Naval Innovation Center. So they're looking at moving forward with trying to lock in funding from Congress for the construction of that. They just finished closing out the EIR, the environmental study for that project. And I'm hopeful that that project moves forward and that we can do it in a collaborative way with our military partners to ensure that we're working together to provide the least headache for our community, particularly as the construction process moves forward. And the last point that I'll bring up is there's a lot of funding opportunities. I can't remember the name of all the grants that exist out there, but I'll continue to encourage staff to tee up projects and find opportunities for us to apply for that funding to help us support the needs for our infrastructure. And those things can look at anything from supporting public safety efforts to undergrounding initiatives. So there's a lot of opportunity that exists there, and we just need to make sure that we can find some capacity to kind of make that effort and keep our fingers crossed that with our application that we end up successful in our endeavor there. So I appreciated getting to know both Mark and Hans a little bit more while we were in DC together.
And let me add to that. First of all, the mayor gave a great synopsis of all the things that we learned there. It was very interesting. We had a lot of conversations, sidebars during the conference as well, but there's a pathway forward for many of the initiatives that are also important for our community, like energy safety, energy resilience, and then we all know how much we have challenges here. So there are pathways that we have identified. We're working right now in our office to structure all this into something that could be used as a model to move forward. It takes a few years, but there's funding available. The other part I wanted to share with you is Rob O'Keefe spoke about conference participants and leisure travelers. Conference participants spend 158% more money than leisure travelers. You know, they want them. The three of us, we were so tired, we never left the hotel in the evening. So we are kind of atypical and did not contribute to Washington, D.C.'s financial health. The only item that I want to bring forward is the city of Monterey needs you. We have 39 seats on boards and commissions coming up to be filled by July 1st. The city clerk has all the different opportunities advertised on her website. The opening period to apply is between now and Clementine, May 4th.
May 3rd, it's a
May
Friday
3rd.
at noon.
Yeah, May 3rd at noon. Again, 39 opportunities to help shape your community, 39 opportunities to define what the quality of life for the city of Monterey means for you and for your neighbors. So we really encourage everyone to consider maybe to serve the city on one of the boards and commissions, and looking forward to the applications. The mayor will take the bulk of those applications and present to the council, as it's our process right now. So thank you.
Thank you, Hans. Really good reminder for folks to apply for those board commissions and committee seats that are becoming available. It's a really good opportunity for folks to get involved and provide further service to our community. And with that, we will go ahead and adjourn in memory of street maintenance worker Sean Aguirre. The city is deeply saddened by the untimely passing of street maintenance worker Sean A. Aguirre. Sean joined the streets maintenance division in 2023 and was appreciated for his calm demeanor, positive attitude, and great work ethic. Sean will be dearly missed. We will adjourn this meeting in his memory. And so with that, we'll kind of pause here for a minute for a moment of silence. All righty. Thank you, everybody.